Hello gamers and welcome to another WARNO video on my channel. The DAVOUT update has been released on 17th March and it brings 2 new divisions, and much to my delight it's the announced German divisions, both Federal Republic of Germany and GDR division. Let's take a look at the Federal German division first, the 5th Panzer Division. And let's just take a quick look at it, and in a follow-up video I will show you my deck. We've got very few activation points for logistics, decent-ish infantry activation points, artillery very decent as well. You can bring lots of panzers. And then Reckon not so much, only 3. AA is also a bit costly with regards to activation slots. You only have 2 helicopter slots and actually only 2 cards of helicopters. And also the air tab is a bit lacking with regards to activation points. So here what you get is the Unimog munitions truck, only for the 5th Panzer. It brings you 500 supply, so that's actually pretty good because you get 10 cards, and that's actually a change now. Available units indicates the number of units of this type still available as reinforcement from your battle group. I've shown you the last video, my last WARNO video showed you my deck, and this is a new update, I think, that you can see the number here already. And then you have this ammunition truck. It's kind of armored, that's the difference. Availability is the same, costs it's slightly more expensive, and also unique to the deck, it's also significantly slower. So I'm not yet sure if you'd rather have this one or this one. And then also you have an option with 1750 supply. It's also super fast, so that's an option as well. Then you've got the ILTIS, also unique to the division, so at this stage you can get the card twice. Has to come double vetted, and yeah, it's your leader Jeep basically. Also pretty cool looking, and you can rescue other vehicles here with the rope. And you do get the M577 GA2. It's also a command unit. The difference is it's armored and has slightly worse availability with only 3 units. Infantry tab, lots of new units. You do get the Feldjäger. They are regarded of poor quality. You get it's a small squad of only 4 guys. Military police. Feldjäger are basically military police. You get 4 of them only. It's kind of like a CQC unit, very good accuracy. And yeah, but only 10 points. They have to come in the ILTIS, and they have to come double vetted. Could be interesting. Then you get the Sicherungsdivision. They are untrained, basically like reserve troops, and I actually think they're pretty cool. They come in a Unimog, because 11 guys, 25 points, and you can maybe secure the forests a little bit without investing too many points. So I actually think they are pretty cool. This is obviously a war situation, because some wear a helmet, some wear like their head and different type of hat, and I'm not quite sure why they're wearing this. In practice, so when you train and stuff, every group or then every platoon is supposed to have wear the same headgear. And the headgear you wear is actually determined by the leader, or by the platoon leader or the group leader, depending on how you move. If you move as a platoon, it's usually the group leader basically, because the platoon leader might not wear a helmet, for example. But then again, this is Cold War, getting hot, so you get different headgears. I think that's a very interesting unit. 12 availability, it's huge. Then you get the Pionierführer. They've got the Carl Gustav, and they can also come in the transport Panzer Lux. Why can I not? I can't click on the Lux right now, and this is a bit of a... Okay, now. Here we go. The Fuchs transport Panzer gives you 108 kilometers road speed and 90 kilometers off-road speed compared to 72. So this is super fast. Really interesting vehicle, I think. It's also got an MG3, so pretty cool. Pioneer unit, they've got essential charges, and my understanding is that the essential charges are currently not super good. Also 10 guys, quite beefy. Then you get the Handflammenpatrone incendiary rocket launcher, 530 meter range, and I think they are pretty decent. I've tried them out, so that's an interesting option. Also, they can come in the Fuchs. Then you get the Armbrust, which is an unit, which is another Pioneer unit with a different loadout. 10 guys, you get the anti-tank rocket launcher, 13 penetration only. So you need to, with good tanks, you need to side shot for sure. The Panzergrenzführer can come in the Iltis, but also in the Marder 1A2 with an autocannon. Also the 1A3, and the difference being the armor only. So you get one additional armor on each side, and I think that the system of how damage is calculated has been reworked. So it's not just about penetration, but the damage is also determined a little bit by your armor. And then you get a Panzergren with the Carl Gustav, and you can bring it in this, machine gun transport vehicle. But for the same price, you can get this infantry fighting vehicle. So I actually don't know why you would use this, because this one has an autocannon on top of the MG3, a better armor as well. So I think it's much preferable. 2 penetration is enough for these smaller fighting vehicles, at least for side shots. Or the 1A3, again, difference being the armor. Your Panzergrens here, so they've got the Carl Gustav, AT, rocket launcher, 16 penetration, and then you get your standard Panzergrens. Also, they are 9 men only, they are 6 only. And they've got the Panzerfaust, only 14 penetration, and they can't come in a Marder, they can only come in this vehicle with the MG3. Then this is a very interesting unit, and the one you should maybe consider most. It's only 5 guys, but you do get a Panzerfaust with 40 penetration, which is nice, so a bit like military police, but you can bring them in the Milan. In the Marder, in the Unimog, but also in the Milan. And the Milan has a ground-to-ground missile, manual guidance, 2.6 kilometers range, and if you upvet them, you even get better accuracy. I think that applies to the vehicles as well. I'm not 100% sure, but I think it should. Yeah, it does. Very good. So 75% accuracy and 23 penetration. You can pen pretty much any tank. So this is really good. And again, the difference between the 1A2 and 1A3 is the armor only. a thing with German numbers is, so if you have like smaller enhancements, the number behind the letter changes. Then you get the Jägerführer, can only come in a Unimog, only 4 guys with the Carl Gustav. And the Jäger unit, Panzerfaust, 11 guys, but again only Unimog. Artillery tab, you get your mortars. I did play with them and they're currently a little bit bugged because I couldn't shoot at any targets. I could neither use the target ground nor directly shoot at a visible target, but that's certainly going to be patched very soon, I hope. Then you get howitzer guns, 2 variants, and I can show you the difference. The cheaper one has the MG, but actually you don't want anything to get into its range anyway. But the cheaper one actually has the better rate of fire, but the worse HE damage and suppression. Also the range is worse, but again, well, 17 kilometers is still a lot. Availability is better on the cheaper one. So together with the better rate of fire, you might actually want to go for the cheaper one. Then you can get the Lars, and the Lars has high explosive anti-tank stuff and cluster ammunition, and it really shoots a lot. I'm not yet certain if you can really take out units completely. Well, 9 pen, but you know, the cluster ammunition, it comes from the sides, it comes from the top, so it will take out tanks. Theoretically, I don't think it's worth upvetting because, well, accuracy on the machine gun you don't need, and then only 1 better rate of fire, not needed that much. So you've got a servo length of 36 and supply cost of 9,000. I'm actually not 100% sure if this is really 9,000 supply you need, because look at this, even this vehicle you can get 3 of them with 1 card, only gives you 1,750, so it's like a one-trick pony. Yeah, I have to figure that out. And then you've got the Mars, which is your high explosives weapon with a massive range, good rate of fire and everything, so yeah. Supply cost is not quite as terrible. Yeah. In the tank tab you get the cheap, I think that's a patent tank. Armor values are horrible, but it's super cheap. But you lose against lots of units and you can't pen many. It's more against transport vehicles actually than proper tanks, but all you need to side shot. Availability is great though, and costs are low, so you need to swarm the enemy and maybe follow it up with the Leopard. Then you get the Leopard 1A, 1A1, also terrible armor, much better penetration already, decent range, another main battle tank. Then you get a Leopard 1A5 Führer, horrible armor, decent, very decent penetration, and it's a leader unit. And then you get the 1A5 in the variant that's another leader, 100 points cheaper as per usual, and obviously better availability. Then you get the Jaguar in 2 variants, Jaguar 1 and Jaguar 2, and the difference, there are 2 main differences, well 3. One is the availability, it's obviously lower with the Jaguar 2. 2, it's the penetration value, which is much better with the Jaguar 2, 25 as opposed to 22, and even better though is your accuracy, 70% versus 50%. So if you upvet your Jaguar 2 to, well, upvet, I mean veteran, you get 87% accuracy and still get 4 of them with a range, and it outranges most tanks. So I think this is really cool. You have a very expensive Leopard 2A3 leader unit, 19 frontal armor, 19 penetration. So as you can see, the Jaguar 25 penetration would take out the Leopard. Then you get the Leopard 2A3 without the command capabilities, and you get 3 of them, so that's actually pretty cool. And one thing I'm not yet certain about when I play is, the command unit is for capturing, but I think it also upvets your units. I'm not quite sure yet how valuable that is, considering the costs of the leaders. In your Recon tab, you get the looks, which is a very, very interesting option because it's got a nice autocannon, it is fast, and you can just drive in. Then you get the Aufklärer, and the Aufklärer can even come in the helicopter. Yeah, it can even come in the helicopter. Oh, and now I noticed, I thought there's a bug with the not being able to select different vehicles. But look, I cannot select these vehicles now. And I think that's because I've pinned the ILTIS. If I unpin the ILTIS, it works again. Interesting. Okay, and you can bring them in the Fuchs, and you can bring them in the UH-1D, which can shoot as well against ground targets and helicopters. Then you get the Jägeraufklärer. I think they are pretty cool because they've got the Panzerfaust. I already like them in the different deck in the 8th Infantry Division. You also get the option of a helicopter, Recon helicopter without fighting capabilities. And you get the Fährspeer. It's a very specialized Recon unit in the German army. Satchel demolition, not that great, I think. But you can bring them in a Recon helicopter. It says here, which is like the army. And this one can shoot. So this is actually pretty cool. AA, you get the Fliegerfaust, which is unfortunately not that great with regard to accuracy. You must possibly at least double vet it. Well, probably double vet it, otherwise you lose too many. Then you get the Gepard, that you might know from the Steel Division 2. It's radar based, so it's vulnerable to Zerg planes. And then you get the Roland in 2 variants. And the Roland 2 and the Roland 3, difference being the damage. Most planes have like 10 strength, so the Roland 2 would be sufficient with regards to that. The Roland 3 is radar guided, so beware of that. And the range of the Roland 3 is better. Yeah, rate of fire is worse. Yeah, I think they are both very interesting options, and yeah, you've got one card each. You must possibly play both, I think, in a 1v1. Helicopter on the 2 options. You get this cheapish helicopter, but still with 22 penetration. Accuracy, you can pump it up. Obviously, availability goes down. Or you can bring the better helicopter with more penetration. Double guided, get 81 accuracy. I think that's not too bad. The 1A1, as you can see, it's just like the different loadout. In the air tab, you get this rocket plane. It's a support plane, super cheap. Can shoot at like anything. It's rather slow. Air-to-ground missiles. Poor unit quality, but it's cheap. I'm not sure if you would want to bring it. Then you get this one. It's your air defense plane, AA plane with 4 rockets. Accuracy is not very good, even when you upbed it. And one problem I found is your ECM is only 10%. Agility, when you bet them, is very good. Your other AA option is the F4, which is actually slower but has better ECM, and if you upbed them, you get exceptional agility. Yeah, so an interesting option, I think. Still not great, but You might even consider triple weaponing or eliting it. When you get an AT plane, I haven't tried it out yet. It's very fast, so it might actually be good. Penetration is good. You get 4 fire and forget missiles. Then you get the Tornado with unguided bombs and air-to-air missiles. It's very, very fast. Then you get this one with cluster bombs, but it's HE cluster bombs. But I think it's pretty cool. Is that the target range really? Okay, it seemed closer to me when I tried it out. Then you get a Tornado with AT cluster bombs, 9 penetration. So basically, because it will be on all sides, you can destroy tanks with that. Then you get your Seat plane, which could double that, and it has 20 penetration, which is a lot, and you can use it in an AA role as well. And then you get another F4 with an HE loadout, unguided bombs and air-to-air missiles. Accuracy for air-to-air missiles is not that great. ECM 30%, this one has 30% as well. Yeah, so that's your options. Let me know what you think of the deck if you want to play it, if you have any favorite units. My favorite unit is well, it has to be, well, it's actually the Jäger Aufklärer, because I think it's pretty cool. Yeah, in the next video I will show you my deck. Thanks a lot for watching. Until then, bye for now.